back inside the stash. Now, I know in the last video I said that the next thing up would be a release video looking at the release kits for November of 2023, but these videos are incredibly easy to make for me because, turn my other overhead camera, have my overhead light on there. Yeah, all I have to do is throw these into the editor and chop the front and back ends off and create a little bit of, title card, and off the races we go. And the release videos require me to edit in all those box art images, which we'll be doing in the next couple hours. I just needed something to render and post because I said there'd be another video and there hasn't been in a couple of days. At any rate, we're going to take a look at some of the kits that got in here. I have stuff piled literally everywhere. It's ridiculous. I have gone back and watched the last 2 or 3 of these, trying to determine where I had left off at, because I haven't done one since the middle of summer, and a bunch of stuff has come in since then, and I think I know where I'm at. And so I'm only going to do a little bit here of the total chaos that I'm surrounded in, because again, I'm not exactly totally sure where I left off at. So I know that these items for sure haven't been up yet, because a lot of them are very, very recent. A little out of order here. This was not in the thumbnail at the beginning of the video, because I went around and looked and this one hadn't been up yet. So from Hobbylink Japan, picked up this kit here. This is the Toyota Racing Development version of the A86 Corolla 11. This will be for, if you remember back like 4 videos ago of these stash ad videos, I had gotten decals from SK Decals to do the 1983 class winner from the Gia Race in Macau. So this will be the base kit, if you will, for that project. Won't be using any of the over fenders and stuff like that for the later years racing. The 83 season was a very showroom stock version of this car. These over fenders and whatnot that are on this car with the larger rear spoiler are representative of what ran in the mid-1980s in the Japanese Touring Car Championship. The car in the Gia Race of Macau did not run the over fenders or this giant lip spoiler or anything else like that. Other than, that sort of difference, this is a fairly fundamentally basic 8611 in terms of all of these kits that they've done over the course of time. This is just your regular assortment of parts. I believe the race car uses these wheels, painted black or powder coated black. And yeah, we're going to use this pretty much almost the way it comes in the box. You use the actual front bumper that this comes with. The only thing that I think I need out of this is we're not going to use this gigantic rear spoiler. I need a factory spoiler out of the regular 11 Truno kits that were done. And this kit doesn't actually come with that tree. There's a parts tree that specifically has some exterior pieces that this one does not have, and that includes the small rear spoiler. So something that I have in my collection is going to have to sacrifice a spoiler. I don't really feel like buying a whole nother one of these to steal a spoiler out of. I've looked through a number of the kits I have, hoping that I could find one that had a low spoiler in it, and I don't think I can. I think we'll have to, maybe I'll go on Buyee, which is the equivalent of eBay in Japan, and see if I can't find somebody parting out a 11 or a Truno that has that parts tree that has the spoiler on it for sale for a couple of bucks. I don't think I'll find one on eBay necessarily that somebody's parting out, because people don't normally part out import kits on eBay. So anyway, that is, like I said, the base kit for that race car, and it'll be 99% of what I need. Like I said, I just need that different spoiler, and that's really a sort of a end of the build kind of thing, because obviously once you're putting spoilers on the car, you're about done at that point. So going over to domestic kits that I have acquired in the last several months, we have picked up the new tool for Bronco, along with the rest of the internet, right? Nothing spectacular here. This is it's the AMT kit. I think I've seen 2 or 3 of these things get built now, so you guys know what's inside of it and all the rest of that stuff, so I didn't bother to open it. And so that'll be tossed onto the modern domestic shelf with everything else. Kit that was just released a few weeks back that we picked up is this, the Revel 74 Torino Cobra Kit. Been looking forward to this ever since the announcement was, the reissue announcement was put out, because this, of course, has the new body that they fixed back in the 2012s, 2014 area, that they fixed this back bodyline character issue that this kit had. It had not been reissued since the body was fixed for the other Torino, the name of which slips my head right now, and it's not on my forward-facing part of my shelf, but there's the Torino GT that has the other front end on it. They fix the body and the interior pieces for that. They carry over into this kit, especially the body, because the body is specifically the exact same body for both. And so when they said, hey, we're going to reissue this, I was like, yes. Not that I'm going to tear the shrink wrap off of it, clearly, but it is something that has always been in sort of the back of my mind as being a neat car, and I didn't want to build it once I found out that the body was all janky in the original one. So I sold my original one off a couple months ago, right when this was announced, and so now we have the fresh new one for when that time comes along. So got the nice body back here. There was a big one of the thing, if I've like the 5th, 6th time I've mentioned this since this kit was announced it was coming back out, and you're like, what are you talking about? There used to be a giant crease in the body character line that came behind this fender, went the whole way to the ass end of the car. That's not really there. They fixed this body. It's clearly not there anymore. And the original kit had it, because the body was done wrong the first time. Where's a wrong Revel body being done? Where have we heard that before? So now that it's fixed, I picked up the replacement. Another kit I picked up that is a replacement kit is this. This is a most recent reissue of the Duster 340. Pre-printed tires, the expanded decal sheet were pretty much the two major reasons I went and picked this kit up. I had an original issue of this that came out, 96, 97, something like that. This was produced in August 4th, 2021. So it's a couple years old, a couple years out of date at this point. But as I've gone through, you may recall in the last couple of videos I've done of these acquisition things, I've talked about selling off the top the top part of the stash, so to speak, the stuff that I really don't, that I know I'm never going to build, the stuff that I can't remember why I bought it in the first place, all those sort of things, or kits that have been supplanted by new versions. Sold off a lot of my older R32 GTRs after the Hasegawa kit was reissued. Sold off several of my 70s era Skylines after the Hasegawa kit was reissued, so on and so forth. So selling off the original version of this with bad decals to pick up a new version with expanded decals, and of course, like I said, the pad printed tires are always a nice trick in too. And you got, the extended graphics here that weren't in the original decal sheet. That was worth the, what did I pay for this? Is there a price tag on here? No, it does not have a price tag on here. I think this was 20 some odd dollars. I can't remember what I paid for this, but yeah, be that as it may, there's that. And now we have broke the camera because it doesn't want to zoom in or out. Now let's zoom way in, zoom out, zoom out. All right, after resetting the camera, because moving that box around made the camera go all wonky, we will continue. Picked up, and I think this is another one that, everybody has, right? It is the new tool, Revel 71 Mustang 350 1. Super excited for this, mainly because I've just been following the development of this kit for so long, right? It leaked, those 3D scan images of it leaked, and then it was, not confirmed for months afterwards, and then we saw, we got confirmation that the kit would be a thing that would be coming at some point in the future at the Vegas Nats, and that's, 3 summers ago now. And then we got into seeing the tooling, final tooling mock-ups and everything being done at the Omaha Nats. And finally, the kit is here. Now, before this one even gets too settled in everyone's collections, there, of course, is that James Bond version, the Mach 1 with a 429 coming. Already released in the European boxings in Europe, obviously. Supposedly coming in a U.S. boxing at some point without the paint set included So we'll see when that shows up exactly. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't like the 71 to 73 Mustangs. I don't have any strong feelings against them. I don't really have any strong feelings for them, to be perfectly honest. However, it is a cool car within my, my list of, ooh, that's a cool car kind of thing. And the offerings of it and why I personally just sort of was like, whatever, was the fact that, hey, let's face it, that MPC kit that is the current AMT kit stinks. It's a little bit better than fix the front end, but it still stinks. Still has an engine in it that doesn't exist. And then, the original AMT kit became the modified race car, so that's not an option. So actually having a real kit of this, and a really nice kit of this, everything I've ever heard about anyone who's building this, there's not really too much to look out for. Everything fits together real well. It's a very nice kit when built. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Going back overseas to the Hobby Link Japan box, one of many that have come in over the last few months. We picked up from the bin of Hasegawa goodness. This is the 1993 Intertech race, Gaithers MaxFly Civic. All right, so why is this a unique kit, you might ask? Well, other than the bomb diggity livery on here with the man-eating dolphins chasing the head of Medusa and the piranhas up here and everything else like that, this was a test platform for the EG9 Vario, the four-door Civic. In 1993, we're still in the last year of Group A. We're still in a coupe, two-door post sedan type race car, and this was the coming 1994 FIA Class 2 four-door sedan version of the series that will be coming. This car ran all year. They've chosen to do the last race of the year as far as the livery goes, and it's just a unique vehicle. Now, there's things about this real car that aren't included in this kit, mainly this fuel filler that's sort of chucked back here like a NASCAR fuel filter as opposed to the big ones that go into the trunk. The rear spoiler, I think, is a little bit different in the kit than actually is, here in real life as well. But that all being said, this is just a cool test bed vehicle. It didn't particularly perform very well. Irony, because it would actually go on to perform very well in its actual racing existence. But compared to the existing Group 3, the Group 3 cars in 1993, it wasn't quite as fast. But again, regulations were going to change and make it a little more competitive. You're pretty much your standard Gaither or standard Vario here in terms of what you get. Like I said, there's no fuel filler back here on the back deck, so you'd have to include doing one of those. And yeah, overall, I just like this livery on here because you've got these like pterodactyls on the hood. And just like, pterodactyls on the back of the car, these piranhas on the front fender, snakes and killer bottlenose dolphins chasing you down. It's just a unique livery at the time. And then I don't think they give you an actual... Oh, no. They actually give you the decals for these fuel fillers. So technically, I suppose, if you don't mind the one-dimensionality of that, you could probably just leave it alone. And if the tech drawing's anything compared to the picture, the spoiler actually looks like it's passable. But anyway, it's just, like I said, it's a cool car just for the livery alone. The livery sells this whole model kit. Considering these are like $22 in Japan, the livery sells the whole shebang to me. And then also in the 1993 Intertech race, we love the 1993 Japanese touring car series over at Hasegawa right now. This is, of course, the classic Calsonic Impul Nissan R32. This is the champion for the year. Last year for the GTRs, 94 again turns into sedans, and it's just the fitting tribute to the last car, the last year, the last champion of, old school Japanese touring car. Very simple decal sheet here. Obviously, Calsonic, livery is not necessarily particularly crazy in their overall decals. And this, like the other ones we've been talking about recently, you got a little carbon fiber surround for the center console, and you've got seatbelt material over here, including the separate say belts, so you can make your own, your own ribbon decals if you chose to do. A lot of extras that have been sort of baked into these more recent reissues. Nothing's changed about that in the last, 6 months since we've done one of these videos. But, if you're trying to build the championship cars, this, of course, is one of those ones that you need. And who doesn't love calsonic blue, right? I mean, there's a reason why calsonic blue exists. Or really, it's impol blue more than it's calsonic blue. But it's a reason that blue's existed forever. Continuing with the Hasegawa bucket of goodness, we have the Isuzu Ballot 1600 GTR 1969 early version. So this is a brand new tool kit. This is one of the spring new kits, if you will. This was released over the summer. And this replaces a decent, although this is better, a decent Fujimi kit of this same car. I suspect that the overall series of Isuzu Ballots we're going to get out of Hasegawa is going to be substantially more gooder than the Fujimi 2 kits, eventually what became a 1 kit with 4 different build options inside of it. These will be a little bit better than that. This was, the GTR was the racing version of this car, so this is a street version of a race car, basically. Within the confines of what it is, it's not like a GTR, like what we consider a GTR, but it was a GT racing, so GTR. And very typical of this car was the fact that it had a black hood. The GTRs all had black hoods. And like I said, pretty much any Hasegawa kit of a certain era, post say 2008 or so, 2006 really, is going to be just, hot diggity dog new tool kits. They've been doing them at least 2 a year, sometimes 3 a year now for, almost a decade. And actually more than a decade and a half now. And it's really annoyed plane builders, because Hasegawa was a plane first company for the longest time, but they found their niche in selling especially Japanese cars. And so, yeah, this is basically, what you would expect, right? I don't think there's anything necessarily about this kit that's surprising. I do appreciate the fact that the wheels are separated into a wheel center and then a trim rig. This is the upside down version of how this trim rig is the back of the trim rig. But obviously much ease of painting, much ease of trying to chrome a wheel lip, right? It'll be much easier to do that way. Hood is separate on this car, although it is not a open hood like you would traditionally think of a open hood. There is a hood molded through here, and this one just sort of goes over top of it. So unfortunately, it's not like some of the other Hasegawa kits where you could feasibly think about trying to hickey-jigger an engine into it. And yeah, pretty much what you would expect out of a Hasegawa kit. Reasonably limited decal sheet here. Whoops, upside down. Hang on. And with basically what Hasegawa's come to be known for decal wise, with the windshield trim being part of the decal sheet now. So theoretically, you could at least theoretically what am I trying to say? Not do bare metal foil or not do some sort of chrome replacement. You could put these on there and then try your best at clear coating it and seeing what happens. Kit is obviously molded in orange for the body color. And, yeah. Pretty cool. And I, once again, have sort of lost focus, and I've got bounciness going on here. So apparently there's like a 10-minute limit to how long this camera will hold focus for. That's very, very interesting problem. All right, so we're going to try to plow through this now, because obviously we have a timer on this camera now. I don't know what this issue is about, but hey, you know what? It wouldn't be my attempt of a YouTube career if we didn't have constant issues with some form of electronics involved. So this is the Gordon Murray Automotive T50, the new tool Tamiya kit that came out over the summer. Again, if you follow some people on YouTube, you've seen what you're getting here. It's a big old box of plastic. Very much like the McLaren Senna and the way it builds up, where you have a center sort of monocoque that the body panels fit onto, and then you have a chassis that you sort of build up out of whole cloth. We slide some stuff out of the way here. you see that you have, this is the front suspension, these little holes here for where the seats go in, and then you have the rear suspension, and these two things will meet and mate. And that is basically what the bottom of your car ends up being. You know, you build the front suspension up off of one half of this, you build the rear suspension up with the engine on the other half of it. This does have a whole engine in it, so if you're one of those people that can't stand import kits with no engines, this does have the whole engine. This also has the unique thing where the brake calipers do not fit onto the brake discs themselves. They fit onto the back of the wheel hubs, and then the calipers themselves free float like they would in a real car. The calipers, the rotors rather, free float in air the way a real car was. You know, obviously, with the normal construction of a model kit, your calipers go onto your rotors, and then your rotors go onto the wheel backs, and then technically speaking, you know, your rotors and your calipers are all one big piece. And if they were a real car, they would spin around in a circle because they're basically welded to the actual rotor. These build up like a real car, where you can kind of see the gap in here. These are sort of the saddles for the back of the rotor plates and the caliper plates. So your calipers mount to your wheel hubs, and then these mount to the suspension, and then these mount up inside of the wheels. They're keyed so that they can't be put on backwards or inside out or whatever. And then the actual wheel backs themselves in here are keyed so that they can't be thrown into the wrong place, and off you go. And then here's your sort of inner monocoque of the chassis, and you get a little bit of PE in here as well. And yeah, it looks like it's a lot of parts, but it's not that many when you think about it. It's not really that many sprues. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues and a clear tree, along with the body here that has the rear fan panel attached to it. But you see all of the body is separate pieces. So keep that in mind. Painting this. Justin over J Hart Model Works is doing one in a pearl and a candy rather, and he's had all of the issues trying to match the panels, and then accidentally goofing up the clear coat and having to strip things and try to match panels all over again. So, you know, keep in mind these are all separate, and you have to paint them off of the body. There's not really a way to tack them onto this, paint it, and then take them back off again. So it's you know, be advised how complicated a paint job that you want to try to pull off on this, because it could be a little bit of a pain in the rear end. A lot of people don't like the looks of this car. I do, so tough if you don't. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. One thing before we get into more race cars, a little bit of extra parts here from Hobby Design. We picked up this little PE set for the Revel Germany Audi e-tron GT. And obviously you can see what this goes to. Not a lot to this, right? You have some PE, you got belts here, PE belts, and then some brake faces. You have windshield wipers. There's a couple other little bits, odds and ends to this as well. Can't really do anything with this. This is sort of glued onto here, but you get a little bit of an idea what you're getting there. Nothing like crazy. It's just a little. These cost like $7, so it's just a little accent set for that kit. And then we got this Zoomon Trans kit to take the Acura NSX and turn it into the current final Type S model. So this has a little bit of everything, right? Typical of a Zoomon. You have some decals here, Audi or Acura logos, some license plates. You got your PE, which is nice because if you recall, the Tamiya kit doesn't come with PE. It's one of those weird things with clear pieces with mesh decals that go on top of it. Look like complete and total butt crack. I don't understand why they did that. That was such a miserable failure with the Aoshima original Aventador that Aoshima did, and I don't know why that's a way to cut costs, but it is. And yeah, the other parts here, we're just going to show you this on the map rather than dig everything out. You get a new front bumper, a new front like splitter, a new rear bumper, and then a new rear splitter, along with the Type S wheels and the new spoiler. And really, there's not too much of this you have to do in terms of craziness. You do have to cut a few little odds and ends off in order to make everything fit onto the body. This has to be, because I've actually done that part of it already, to see how well it fits. This has to be one of the best fitting Zoomon kits that I've come across. Zoomon is, I don't want to say well known for, but, you know, some of their resin can be advanced modelers only type of things. The only thing about this that's kind of a little bit of a dull is the fact that this thing comes with slicks. I don't understand why this resin trans kit comes with racing tires. This is not a race car. The Type S is just the current last of the line version of the Acura NSX, or the Honda NSX, depending on how you want to look at it. This happens to be keyed up as an Acura because they're in Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong it's sold as, not as a Honda. But yeah, I fortunately, again, something else I've done is that these wheels are the exact dimension of the kit wheels, so these will fit the kit tires. The wheels themselves are not any bigger, or they may be bigger in real life, but in terms of how they manufacture them, they're not any bigger than the kit tires, so they will fit the kit. They will fit the kit tires. And these slicks can go on to something else, because clearly that's not right. But you know, it is what it is, and you got to sort of deal with what you're given, I guess. And then race cars from overseas. Picked all these up through Hobby Easy, although several of these I'm going to get a couple more through Hobby Link Japan. First up, Honda Civic EF3 Group A. This is the 1989 Macau Gear Race in Macau, or Macau Gear Race they call it. It's actually Gear Race in Macau. This represents the class winner in 1989 for the little less than 2500cc class that they ran. And so winner, chicken dinner. The only new parts this kit has compared to any other B-Max, or because this is actually technically a B-Max branded kit this time around, any other B-Max or new branded Civic is the fact that are these wheels. These wheels, however, are not themselves actually technically new. They are lifted directly out of the A92 Civic 11 race car. So these are those parts just put into this kit. And otherwise, it's a straight reissue of their existing EF3 Civic. Yet, being a B-Max kit, you do get an actual color call-out for the decal layout. I don't understand why this just can't come in everything. Why this is a B-Max only thing. You've seen B-Max now being used with the plastic distribution name, so the B-Max name is fully back underneath their control. And this is a two-tone that you will have to paint yourself. As you see the decals here, you get the red areas that go around the belt line of the car, but the white and the black you will have to paint yourself. So it's a little bit different there in the sense that you know, it's not a decals do everything. A lot of new kits, especially the decals, did everything. You just have to paint it one solid color. This one, you're actually going to have to suck it up and paint the two-tone yourself. But it's a big, nice, wide divider line here, so screwing up should be fairly easy in terms of fixing it. So long as you don't, you know, somehow paint the white lower than the body line, or this black substantially lower than the divider line, you ought to be all right all the way around. So that, just like I said, it just has this new these wheels here that if you, let's see if we can see, I can't. These, but the only thing you really tell about these are the W tree, right? And if you go and you look at the Corollas, that's also the W tree within their stuff too. So it is the same parts, just included into a different kit. And like every B-Max new kit out there, there is, of course, an accessory set sold separately. This comes with some PE, some brake faces, a lower radiator intake, whoops, and then you've got your wipers on here, your seatbelt material, all your seatbelt hardware is in here as well. Some new tow hooks, there's a pretty prominent tow hook out back that's replicated in PE. And then you have the Kevlar on here for the seat. Pretty much all the Kevlar you get to this is just the racing seat back, which is, yeah, it's about what you need. You're not going to really see too much in here anyway. So that is that one. And then we picked up also another Macau Gear Race winner. This is the BMW 320 Super Production 2001 winner. This is Duncan Huisman's car, or Huisman's car. It does include the decals to do all three of the Team Carly team cars, which really only differentiate in their numbers, their driver names, and then this little A-pillar color is a little bit different in between the two. We'll show you here in a second. One new tool piece in here, and that's, if I can find it, all the way in the bottom, of course, is this set of uprights in here. This is a new set of front shock uprights. These are the old ones out of the 2001 kit as it is. So these are substantially lower. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the ride height totally. I mean, it's without measuring them. They appear to be a couple of millimeters shorter, I want to say. Obviously, it's much shorter on the shocks. It's also got a great deal of camber to it. I'm wondering if this will fix the issue with this kit where this steering rack doesn't actually fit with these uprights installed. These uprights are too narrow by the tune of like 0.5 millimeter. And so when you put this steering rack onto these uprights, your wheels toe out like this. And they sit sideways. The only thing you could do really to not make them look like complete and total buttons, what I've been doing with the one I've built that I put in a competition, is turn the wheels. Because you will get a real big kick on the one side that's, you know, I always put the side that has the big kick in it facing the judging, right? And it's worked out a couple of times. But other than that, this kit's exactly the same. It just has these new tool uprights in them. I'm, again, very interested to see what that's going to end up looking like totally when the kit's built in terms of, you know, how it's going to make the kit look overall. And like I said, this does have all three different driver names in it. So car 3, car 6, car 7, which would be for Duncan Heisman, Frank Inkster, and Tom Colonel, which were the Team Carly guys who raced in Europe. So they just came over and raced the one race, of course. And not a B-Max kit, so you don't get the big B-Max color call-out sheet. You just get a black and white BS in here in the back here. Here's one change to the instruction sheet, and that is showing you where all of the window masks go, because the last time this kit was released in its Marlboro, don't call it a Marlboro livery, these window masks weren't part of the kit, and so those instructions didn't exist. So a few modifications here and there to improve the kit a little bit. That should suck these wheels up quite a bit compared to where they've been sitting, which makes me wonder if the old ones are really that wrong, although the old ones suck up as well. But we shall see. And then, of course, this does come with a detail upset as well. Seatbelt material, all of this stuff. I used, I don't know, say 45% of this detail upset. I started using the seatbelt material, but I ended up losing the middle part. And so I ended up just putting the 3D seatbelt decals on that I got out of a different kit. I used this grill. I used the secondary grill, basically. The engraved one's perfectly fine. This one's kind of extraneous. An extra, radiator face. I used this transmission brace because it actually looked pretty good. I used the disc brake things. I used this center console thing over top of the interior. I used this front fascia part, although that really didn't improve the look of the vehicle at all. I used this stand for the tailpipes, which didn't really improve the look of the vehicle at all. This is a lot of PE that's kind of useless. But this carbon fiber ended up looking pretty good. The door panels fit reasonably well. All of the interior pieces fit really well. And then you had the carbon fiber for the seat as well. So that the carbon fiber sheet here is worth it. Everything else on the car, having this front be mesh and not submarine screen door material, also pretty good looking, but otherwise, take it or leave it. And then last one, this will be the last thing for this video. This camera's held for 15 minutes this time around, so maybe it's not a timer, maybe it's just me moving around too much. Semi-brand new tooling for the new kit, right? BMW 320i E90 chassis version here, and this is World Touring Car Championship at this point. Brands Hatch. This will be the race in England, 2008 winner. So the way WTCC worked in the 2000s was 2 races every weekend, all around the world. World Touring Car Championship. Jan here won one race at the England round, and that's what this car represents. Only decals in this car are for this one round that this boxing represents. So right now, straight out of the gate, you're a little limited with what you can do with this. There will, of course, however, be a bunch of decals coming out of place. Your usual suspects, right? LB Productions, SK decals, possibly places in Europe. Macau winners for sure. This car also won in Macau. You can see when you look through this kit that this is tooled up to do other versions of the E90, the front ends and whatnot changed over the course of the years. This car actually came out in 2005 in terms of a race car and ran through the mid-2011 or mid-2012, 2013 season before it sort of went away to the wayside. So there's a lot of room to grow this series of kits. Be interested to see where it goes all over in the end. This kit is 90% new. I will say that. Coming through here, the only pieces of this kit that carry over from that kit I just showed you, right? The 2001, this kit. The only two pieces that carry over are this chassis plate and this interior plate. These two pieces carry over. Everything else in here is brand new. So these wheels are new. This entire roll cage tree is new. This interior bits with the mirrors, that's new. The wheels and the tires are the same. New body. Front bumper and the hood are separate from the body because the front hood is part of what changes as the cars change gears. You have new chrome. This whole tree here with the interior pieces, the chassis plate, all of the exhaust, all of the stuff, all of it's new. And you can tell because this stuff all has, if I can catch the camera right, let's see. I can see it. I'm going to try to make it so you guys can see it as well. They all say, there you go, 2021 Macau. And if you get out any parts to that other kit for the earlier version, there we go. I know, so riveting bunch of bag routing. You see 2019 Macau on this chassis plate. So chassis plate, interior plate, 2019 Macau. Everything else 2021 Macau. So it's all brand new, and it's pretty cool in that sense. Now we've lost the camera focus for some reason, so we have to put everything up here sort of by hand in order to get it to kind of sort of focus. And we're going to go rocking on the ocean here, so bear with me. Apparently that was too much movement. But you see here what you're getting in terms of the decals. You just get this German flag sort of thing on the outside. This does come with window masks for inside-outside. And you get, of course, the new instructions, which, once again, being a new kit, screw you, you just get a black and white decal layout. But this is, again, all of this is new, so these are brand new instructions. And you see here how your window masks work. You see a front side and inside, and then a front side. So the way these window masks are working, you just get the front side, which would be the outside, right? So the side that faces you gets the window masks, and then you have to mask off the back side if you don't want to risk the overspray. Spray paint the outside because all these windows install from the outside, and then you get both the inside and the outside window masks for the windshield and the rear window. So front side, you got that thin lip around weather stripping, and then inside you've got sort of the window black that you would normally associate, and then of course the front windshield the same way. You have just the thin weather stripping, and then the area down here where you mount the windshield wipers is what these holes are, and then the inside you have the big thick window black again. And so, you know, as is the custom there, all your windows installed from the outside. So this is a really cool kit. I was expecting it to share pieces with the existing kit, which it does, but I was expecting it to share like all the pieces with the existing kit, except for a few individual items that were needed specifically to change this into the new car. And that is not what we got. We got a nearly brand new kit. I just want to throw this stuff over here. It's, again, we're everywhere but straight in terms of the focus here and dancing. But there's also a detail upset for this as well. Oh, that's 2001. Where's the one at? Oh, here it is. I found it. 2008. There we go. Which is pretty much the same sort of idea. You have the same brace in the middle there. You have the slightly different openings on the intake brackets, right? You have again another radiator mesh that you may or may not need. This one also with a transmission mesh. And then you have a window net in here as well. And then this kit comes with a sheet, again, of carbon fiber, which will cover at least the seat, and then probably maybe an interior roll cage panel, I'm guessing is what that is. I haven't actually opened these up and looked at them yet. And then you have like the wing support struts there. So, yeah, that, guys, as we are, again, in a situation where we lost focus in this camera, I've just got to suck it up and buy an actual camera. Stop trying to use my phone and stuff, I guess. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. And we hope you enjoyed it for what it was. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Oh, wait, before we leave, Fat Frog Models. I forgot about this. Fat Frog Models is the house brand of Hobby Easy. If you went to Kowloon in the neighborhood in Hong Kong to pick up your Hobby Easy order in person, you would go to Fat Frog Models. Right there's the address there. Anyway, they have been creating a bunch of 3D pieces for a bunch of these new kits as they come out. They have a whole bunch of them planned for the 911 RSR whenever that comes out. But this is a 3D printed grill for this new BMW. This is sort of upside down. And you see here, this bottom part here, this is the surround to the grill. And then this part here is the actual grill itself. Teeny tiny itty bitty supports, like the itty bittiest supports ever. These braces here, these cut off, they're the supports to the top of this thing, but these are some of the finest support braces I think I've ever seen on a 3D printed part. And if you say to yourself, well, why do you need to replace these? Well, here's the kit part. And it doesn't look bad, but it's all one piece. And these inside pieces, they need to be black. And if you look at the car itself, this surround isn't chrome. It's chrome on the very, very bottom. But up here on the hood, it's actually white in the actual race car. Some mileage may vary. Some of these didn't paint their surrounds. But this will allow that painting process to be substantially easier. And yeah, you have a much thinner, overall grill back than the kit part. So, is this worth it? It's $4. Yeah, that's worth $4. I'll give you that. So, anyway, as we've completely and totally lost focus on everything we're ever going to do here, Fat Frog TL Models, 3D printed parts. Check them out. Like them, don't like them. It is what it is. Now we're done for sure. See you guys on the other side.